Welcome to Manifested Reality, a place where we explore consciousness, mindset, and the deeper principles that quietly shape our lives. Today we explore something subtle, yet incredibly powerful, the discipline of belief. Because belief is often misunderstood. Most people think belief is simply a thought, a hopeful idea, or a positive statement repeated in moments of motivation. But belief in its deeper form is something very different. Belief is a discipline, and like all disciplines, it requires awareness, it requires consistency, and it requires wisdom. Consider how the mind moves throughout a normal day. Thoughts appear without invitation, doubts surface, memories replay themselves. The mind jumps between possibilities and worries with incredible speed. Most people simply follow these thoughts wherever they lead. They react to them, they believe them, they allow them to shape their mood, their expectations, and even their identity. But wisdom begins with a simple realization. Not every thought deserves belief, and not every belief deserves to guide your life. There is a quiet discipline involved in choosing what to believe, a discipline that most people never develop. Imagine the mind as a garden. Thoughts are seeds. Some seeds grow into possibility, others grow into limitation. But a garden does not grow only what you want. It grows whatever is planted and whatever is allowed to remain. If weeds are ignored, they spread. If healthy plants are neglected, they fade. Belief works the same way. The mind constantly produces ideas about what is possible, what is difficult, and what cannot be changed. Without discipline, negative beliefs slowly take control of the garden. The mind begins expecting problems, expecting failure, expecting disappointment, and once belief settles into expectation, the mind begins searching for proof. This is where attention becomes important. Attention follows belief. If a person believes opportunity is rare, their attention will overlook opportunity. If someone believes growth is difficult, their attention will focus on obstacles. But when belief begins shifting toward possibility, something interesting happens. Attention changes direction. Suddenly the mind begins noticing patterns that once went unseen. Conversations reveal ideas, small chances begin to stand out. What once felt invisible becomes obvious. The world itself may not have changed, but belief changed what the mind was prepared to notice. This is why belief requires discipline, because the mind will not naturally protect empowering beliefs. It naturally drifts toward doubt. Doubt feels safe, it feels realistic, but wisdom teaches something different. Wisdom teaches that belief is not about blind optimism, it is about conscious direction. A disciplined mind does not accept every thought as truth. Instead, it observes, it asks questions, it chooses which ideas deserve attention. This discipline quietly reshapes perception. Consider two people facing the same challenge. Both encounter uncertainty, both face the same environment, but one person carries disciplined belief. They believe growth is possible. They believe challenges reveal opportunity. Because of this belief, their attention searches for solutions. Their perspective becomes flexible. Their actions become curious instead of fearful. The second person carries unexamined beliefs. They assume difficulty means limitation. They assume uncertainty means danger. Their attention focuses on everything that confirms this expectation. The challenge is identical, but the inner discipline of belief creates two completely different realities. This is why wisdom traditions throughout history emphasize awareness. Awareness allows you to observe belief itself. to see how certain ideas quietly guide perception. And once you notice this process, something powerful becomes possible. You can begin choosing your beliefs with intention, not by forcing positivity, but by recognizing the responsibility of belief. Every belief you repeat becomes stronger. Every belief you question becomes weaker. Over time, the mind slowly reorganizes around the beliefs you nurture. This is the quiet discipline behind transformation. It does not require dramatic effort. It begins with small awareness, a pause, a moment of reflection, a decision not to accept every thought as truth. Gradually, the mind becomes calmer, more deliberate, more capable of guiding itself. Belief stops being something accidental. It becomes something cultivated. And once belief becomes disciplined, perception changes. Opportunity becomes easier to recognize. Growth becomes easier to pursue. Possibility becomes easier to imagine. Not because the world suddenly changed, but because the mind stopped planting the seeds of limitation. Instead, it began cultivating wisdom. So perhaps the real power of belief is not simply what you believe, but the discipline with which you choose your beliefs. Because every belief quietly shapes attention, and attention slowly shapes the path of your life. Take a moment to reflect on this. What belief has been guiding your perspective recently? And is that belief helping you grow or quietly holding you back? Sometimes the greatest transformation begins with a simple realization. The mind is always planting seeds, but wisdom lies in choosing which seeds deserve to grow. If this reflection resonated with you, subscribe to Manifested Reality for more explorations into consciousness, perception, and the deeper principles that quietly shape our lives. And remember, the discipline of belief is not about forcing reality to change. It is about guiding the mind with enough wisdom to see what was possible all along.